Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher. Turn to the teacher.
And welcome back to the show, everyone. I am Mike with the Turntable Teachers. Class is officially back in session. We are here for our 5th guest speaker episode via Zoom, and I am so excited to have our special guest for tonight, Mike Dubb, join us. Mike, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. How are you doing, my brother?
Thank you for the invite. I'm doing all right, man. You know, just trying to stay cool during this Corona time. How are you, my friend?
Man, we were talking a little bit off air, about, obviously, how we've been kind of taking this time and spending it and whatnot. And just, you brought up a really good, this is a thing that we had to just adapt to, you know what I mean? And that's how I feel about it. It was definitely difficult at first, but, I felt like, it's either, like you said, the world keeps spinning, so either you adapt to the time and you figure it out, or you just kind of stay flatlined and you get left behind. So that's what, really been trying to adapt. What about you? Like, how have you felt, like, creatively speaking, how has this time been for you? Are you just kind of taking some time off? How are you kind of navigating this kind of new digital world really that we're in?
Man, I feel so creatively, I could be like making more songs. I could just be doing more, but like it's kind of I need like inspiration. Like it's hard for me to create when I don't really have inspiration. Like the world's kind of like dormant right now, but like it's not dormant. Like people are still outside, whether they're supposed to be or not. People are still outside, but it just kind of seems like everything's like on standstill right now. So it's just hard for me to draw on like something to create from. But like I've been having like spurts of like creativity. Like I'm the type of person that like once I get it, like I just go, like I just make like just mad songs and just mad like whatever I can make. And then like once it cools down, then I just like relax, break days.
Yeah, that's
If
funny.
that makes sense.
No, it does. Absolutely. I'm like actually the exact same way. I'm one of those people where like I have to, I don't think I'm not have to get things done in one sitting, but I am that kind of person 100%. Like I just kind of, when I have an idea of something, or like you said, have kind of inspiration for our podcast or whatever, I just kind of go with it. You know what I mean? And I kind of just, I'm all cylinders. And then once I'm done, that's when I like, obviously like I take a break. So, and just kind of reflect and relax. So that's awesome. You still kind of, having a balance though between resting and having some relaxation time, and maybe allowing for some inspiration to come, because if there's no inspiration, then you're right, like don't just make music to make it, you know what I mean? Like if you want your class to be inspired. Also wanted to mention real quick your backdrop, dude. I love it. So
Yes, sir.
first time using Zoom, and here's my background. So you're saying that's Dragon Ball Z, right?
Yeah, bro. So this is called the hyperbolic time chamber. It's from Dragon Ball Z. Um, Time passes weird inside the chamber. One day outside in the real world is a 1 year inside the chamber. So whenever people try to go put in work, like they want to like get like strong really fast, but they don't have a lot of time, they go in a time chamber. They just put in the work, and then they come back out a lot stronger. So
So I kind of feel like that's metaphorical to what you just said about like how you're doing and taking this time during the during the coronavirus and quarantine. So it's kind of that's funny that you put that on as your backdrop.
yeah, man, I'm trying to lock in, bro. I'm just continuously locked in. Just go in, train, and I don't have a lot of time, but I'm trying to make the most out of my time.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. That's really important to make the most of your time and utilize it, and have good time management. I think that's just a good skill for anybody to have, no matter what they're doing. So tell me a little bit about your story, because I don't know too much about your background. I've done a little research about what's been going on with you lately, and I can't wait to dive into some of the accomplishments and some of the buzz that you're making right now. And people listen to the show, our fans or fans of Mike, you guys know that this man's definitely making some buzz right now. But obviously, it hasn't always been that way. So talk to me a little bit about your start in making music. What is the like the process of the last year been for you, like how or so, and like when did you kind of realize you wanted to make music? Like, when did that really kind of come to fruition for you?
When I was younger, I would freestyle and write poetry a lot. Like I would write poetry in English class. I was always nice at English. I was always like I was in AP English. I was in honors English. I was
Hey,
just going crazy, bro. I was going crazy. I swear to God. And
I
I
teach.
remember, what was that?
That's what I teach. I teach English. That makes me happy.
Yes, sir. Feel me? I was always in English class going in, and I had a teacher, Miss Graffo. Shout out Miss Graffo. The lunch period, it was a lunch period class. So like like lunch period is always longer because it's like I don't know how your high school works, but at my high school there was like 3 waves. So it's like because there's 3 waves of like lunch, it made the period longer because you feel me, like people needed more time to eat. So I
Yep.
was always in the English class, just like I did my work like in the first like half, and then like the next half like I just did nothing because I was just nice. So I just finished math. So I asked if I could go to the back and freestyle, and she was like, "If you finish your work, I can't really say nothing because like you getting like B's and you getting A's, so I'm not really mad at you." I was like, "Good looks." Went to the back. I would freestyle, just jokingly freestyle like in a hallway. But then like I just like as I went through high school, I just kind of just started focusing more on school. So like my man's Justin, shout out Justin, he'd always be like, "Yo, you should take me seriously." And I'm just like, let me finish school first, bro, before I start doing all that. And then he was like, "All right, remember you said that." So I go to college, fast forward, I'm in college. I graduated college like 2018. And then like in January 2018, my friend Justin texted me. He goes, "Remember what you said when we were 17? Like you said like, oh, you're gonna take it seriously after school, whatever." I said, "You're not lying. I did say that. I'm a man of my word." And then like I just got back into the studio with Justin, and then just kind of being around like more musical people and just kind of like, because I was like graduating, so I was just like, I don't really have like the stress of school anymore. Like I kind of just did that part of my life, so I was just like, I can really focus on like who I am, like outside of being a student. Like I've been in school like since I was like 3 years old, you feel me? And like now I'm like 20, I was 21 at the time. I was like, I'm like 21, 20. I'm just like, I want to discover who I am. So I just started like just tapping in with my friends. Like it was a hobby, but it was a hobby I didn't really tap into since high school. But I just really started like just focusing with my friend Justin, focusing with my friend Jan, HN Jan, shout out him, and just really just like tapping in. So cause a lot of people make music now. So it's like I wanted to make sure I came correct. I did a lot of like in the hyperbolic time chamber, feel me? A lot of just working out, just working until I came to a point where I was like, okay, I think I sound all right. I can release music, and then like I released music and I wasn't that good. And then I was like, damn, like I started to keep working, and then I just kept working, and then like I'm still working to be honest, but
Oh yeah.
that's really how it started, man. I just got freedom, and this is what I decided to do with my freedom. Like I have a lot to say, so I want to say it.
Dude, first of all, I love that story. Shout out to your English teacher from high school, dude.
Facts.
That's a good teacher, right? I like that a lot because she knew. She's like, all right, well, he did his work and he has this other thing that he really likes to do, and who am I to tell him not to? I love that shit, man. That
Yo,
makes
shout out her.
amazing, bro. That's awesome. I love hearing that, and like hearing somebody like you that's, I've been out of high school for a little while now, to still remember that about your teacher, and to know that like she valued your other interests outside of school and things like that, and some talents you had. So that's awesome.
Facts.
And you were telling me you grew up in New York and then moved to Connecticut and then went to Emmanuel College in Boston, and that's really, you just recently graduated a few years back. Uh,
Yes, yes, yes.
and you graduated in psychology. So tell me a little bit more about, like, so you said you liked being a student. So what was the motivation for you to like stay in school? Like, because that's actually a little bit opposite of a lot of other people, because I feel like people that are really in tune with music, they probably would have taken it the other way. They're like, I'm going to push this music thing and screw college. So what was it about you that made you think like, okay, let's really try to focus on the school thing first, and then once I have my time, I'll get back into the music?
Um, it's a good question. I never really thought like, so when I went to school, I didn't like I had no intention of like really getting into the music. Like my intention, like when I went to school, I was like I said that to my boy, but like I kind of said it offhand. Like I wasn't really thinking when I said it. I kind of just said like whatever, bro. Like I'm just freestyling for fun, bro. Like I'm going to school, relax. But because like my mom wanted me to go and just like like it's just more of a traditional pathway. Like you go to like you finish high school, you go to school, like, you feel me, like me being like a person of color, just a young black man, just like going into music, like that's always just like comes with like some stigma. So like that's something I always thought about. Like I just didn't want to be like another black boy who's making music because music's so accessible now and just everybody's making it. So like we can talk about that later, but just that was like kind of my mindset at the time. So I was like, let me just focus on school because I just know that once I go to school and like, or this is my mindset. Once I went to school, like I would have like more of a security. Like if I get this degree and like I get something that's like more solid, then like I'd have more freedom to like do what I want. But like that's kind of me being like 17 and just trying to like figure out like you know like life never goes like as planned. Like, you know what I mean? So
No.
like as I got older, I like graduated and I was like, how I felt about school going in is not how I feel about it going out. And I was like, I kind of feel like I didn't have a chance to focus on myself. So I felt like a lot of the things I did in college wasn't really translating into my life post grad. So I was like, And like I could go to school and be more in debt. Or I could try to pursue my passion while I'm young, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think, dude, that is such a great sentiment, I think, for anybody to hear right now, because you're really, like you're saying, you're breaking stigmas. You know, you being, like you said, you being a black man, and the stigma that, you know, black men aren't, or that aren't as educated. I mean, it goes back to, you know, the segregation of schools, you know, in the 50s and 60s during, you know, the civil rights movement and things like that. Like it goes back that far away. And it's interesting that you hold that, and you almost want to like, it almost is it like a motivational piece for you to like, you know, break stigmas and break these stereotypes? Is that something you like? It sounds like to me like that's something you think about. What does that mean to you to be like a college educated black man in America? Like, what is that really like at the core? What does it mean for you?
Hmm. I mean, it definitely means a lot because I understand that I understand that like education, like college is like a privilege in a lot of ways, just that a lot of people don't have the access to gain that like pool of knowledge and like resources and just networking opportunities. So like I'm super, super blessed to have gotten that opportunity. But like I feel like if you just understand, like, I don't know, if you understand just how the world works, then like you realize that like getting a degree doesn't necessarily save your like doesn't solve all your problems. And like maybe I thought that when I was younger and like I wasn't even conscious enough to realize I was thinking that.
Right.
But then like I kind of like graduated and then I was just like, like I'm still like the same person, if that makes sense. Like I didn't like graduate and get this degree and like I'm someone else. Like I'm still like kind of who I mean, obviously I learned, but it's just like you have a lot more agency and control than like you realize, and that's kind of what I realized upon graduating. And just like I have a lot, I can like really control what I want to do. Like, and it's like people are gonna judge me anyway. Like no matter what I do, bro, I can graduate and just go like I can like go do all these things that people expect me to do, that people would rather me do. But then at the end of the day, bro, like it's just me. Like I have to deal with that at the end of the day. So it's like once I realized that, I was like, I really need to like protect my experience. Like I really need to live in a way that's like that's just like I feel good at the end of the day. Like you know what I mean? And like music is something I've always been passionate about. Like even as a consumer, like I've been listening to music and like bro, like some songs have changed my life, bro. Some songs like literally changed the way I think, bro. And it's like I've always worked with like the youth and like I did a lot of like summer camp counselor, a lot of like teaching and like stuff like that. And it's like I've had mad jobs, bro, and I've always been like I want to impact people and I want to help people like be better, and like music's something I'm passionate about, and like I feel I can use that to help people be
Yeah.
better.
Yeah. Well, man, like what you're just saying right now, first off, I want to just commend you for like the maturity and like just the overall, like you seem like you have your head screwed on the right way and straight. And I just like, I really like want to commend you for that. Like you really have,
Thanks, bro.
oh no, absolutely, man. Like you have, it's inspiring to me, like, cause you have this motivation for you to just not only like better yourself, but give back. And I think that's so important. I mean, like I said, I'm a teacher, so that's really like at the core of why I started teaching. I wanted to make an impact as well. I was a kid that, I mean, I grew up I grew up a lot differently than you did for sure, but not that I didn't my life didn't come without challenges. And it was really, people that, stuck their neck out for me when I was in school that really impacted my life, and it allowed me to want to give back too. And, hey, like you were saying earlier, you're going to be judged anyway. Well, Kid Cudi said that, in the end, they're going to judge me anyway. So dude, whatever, man,
Facts.
who cares? You're right. Like these societal stigmas and stereotypes that are in, I just hope that, I think it's going to be up to our generation. I've said this a couple of times on the show and just in conversations with people as well. I think it's going to be up to our generation to really break those and say, you know what, it doesn't matter who you are, where you came from, what nationality you are. We're all people at the end of the day. We all have, a place in this world. We all have something to offer. We all have something to give back, and we all should have a chance to strive at the things we want to strive for. And you just said, you know what, screw all of those, throw that all out the window. I want to go to school. And then you realize when you got out of school, I'm going to make music. And you did it, and you're doing it. And that's all that matters at the end of the day. Who cares if you're black, white, purple, or green, or whatever? Like, it doesn't make a difference.
Thanks.
You're already teaching. Speaking of school, though, I was looking and I was noticing that you had a performance at Harvard right before quarantine. And
I did.
and it seemed to me that was like a big show for you. So talk to me a little bit about you as a performer, and then maybe that show in particular. Like, what did that mean for you? The pictures looked awesome, looked like it was a lit show. But tell me a little bit about the show at Harvard, and then you performing as well. Like, when did you decide, like, okay, I think I have enough confidence to get on stage and start performing?
First, before I talk about the Harvard show, shout out Dealer Made Music because they put me on for the show. Shout out Dreamer. Shout out AG. Like, shout out G Stars. Like, they really, like, those three people are a part of like this label rap group called Dealer Made Music, and they just really reach out to me and like help me. So I just gotta shout out them.
Of course.
So they got booked at Harvard at the Oberon, and Dealer Made Music, which is like a group out of the Ville, and now they're based in Boston, like Pennsylvania, the Ville. And now they're based in Boston. They hit me up. They were like, Mike Dubb, like, we have like an opening slot. Do you want to open for us? I said, yeah, we can do that. I would appreciate it. Like, an opportunity to spread the word, spread the music. I always appreciate that. And then it was just kind of like we just rallied. Like, I sold tickets. Like, we let people know the word. We had a decent show out. Like, it was a pretty short notice for a show. It was like 2-3 weeks. Like, I found out like 3 weeks before, like, the actual show. But it was whatever. Like, I was like, I'm down. Like, I understood it was 3 weeks before, so it's like, here I am. Like, I'm not gonna like run away from this opportunity. This is a good opportunity to perform at Harvard. We had a really good turnout. Like, it seemed like people connected like with the show. Like, I had people talk to me afterwards, so they really enjoyed it. I think a show is like something I was taught is like a show is like as good as the crowd. Like, if the crowd, like, you can mess up, and like I def messed up mad times, whatever. But like, if the crowd had a good time and the crowd really like is feeling what you're saying, then like that's the most important part. So it was like the crowd really enjoyed the music, and like that's all I could ask for. So it was a very great show and a wonderful opportunity.
That's awesome. So was that your first time performing, or had you performed before?
I performed like a few times before. I performed at like Berklee College of Music. I performed at Harvard. So I never did like an open mic though. I never done like open mics or things like that because like, so I feel like I am using my psychology degree low key, because I just feel like I look at everything from like a psychological perspective, and like I just understand like how people consume music, right? And the way people consume music and how accessible it is. So everybody's making a song, everybody's like an artist now, everybody, and like that's so beautiful. Like, we live in an age where everybody can freely create because they have the resources. That's really wonderful. And like, I'm not knocking that, so I don't want to sound like I am. But I see that like because of like it's so accessible, like it's normalized. Like, people are like, oh, like you make a song, like that's cool. Like you make music, oh, that's cool. And then like it takes more now to draw people into the music. It takes more to like intrigue people because everyone just makes a song. So I didn't want to do open mics because I was just like, I don't want to like not be another person doing open mics because open mics are super like valuable because like there's new audience, new opportunity to test your content in front of new people. But it was just like if I'm gonna perform, like I want to perform correctly. Like you know what I mean? I want to come correct. I want to make sure that like you stand out because it's about standing out now. Like you know what I mean? Like it's not like I have the raw talent. Like it's not about having the raw talent anymore. Like it's not about just one thing. Like just the music's good. A lot of people make good music, but they don't know what to do with it. It's just like a lot of like putting your music in opportunities to be heard. Like, and that's what I really like. That's what I was really like focusing on. Like I was in a hyperbolic time chamber, and I was like, all right, bet I got the music sounding good, but who's gonna hear it? So it was like, okay, opportunity. If I just work hard, people will hear my name. People will know who I am. They'll contact me. They reached out to me for the Harvard performance. I was like, let's do it. And it went well, thankfully. So
Amazing. And then right around the same time, it seems like your single Regular, which is really creating a lot of buzz for you right now, popped off. So
yeah,
it all kind of happened at once a little bit for you, which is great. You know what I mean? So I'm sure that the reception was, clearly it's been overwhelmingly positive. And I know you were telling me, so how did it exactly create the buzz? Because I know you were mentioning to me before it was a live stream with Nestle, who is an artist from Atlanta. Is that correct? So tell me a little bit about
that's correct.
that and how that live stream kind of pushed Regular forward.
All right. So I just want to say I released Regular in October, bro. In October 2019 on Halloween. That's when I initially dropped it. I made it in maybe the summer. I was riding around with my mans and like we were just playing some beats. I always like doing the car test. I like hearing beats through the cars. I just think it hits way better through car speakers. And then like I'm playing some beats through a speaker, and then like I hear the regular beat, and I'm like, regular. And I was like, okay, this is hard. And I was like, yo, bro, drop me off at the stew. I want to go like just do something to this right now. And he was like, all right. He dropped me off at the stew. I go in there. I made the song, and like I made like 3 songs that day, but that was like the first one, and I made it. And my engineer was like, "Yo, this is yo." Shout out Wendrew. Wendrew was like, "Yo, this is fire, bro." And I was like, "Yeah, this is cool. It's cool." He was like, "Nah, bro, this is fire." And I was like, "You just like it because I'm turned and I'm happy." And he was like, "Yeah, I like that energy." And I was like, "All right, bro. Like, I'm not always on that time. Like, I'm not always screaming like that." So I was like, I didn't think much of it. I showed my boy it. He thought it was fire. I ain't think much of it. And then like October came, I was like, you know what? Let me drop some music on my SoundCloud. Let me see what's good. So I just dropped Regular and like 3 other songs. Nobody like people would listen, but they were just like, cool, like you got some songs. I was like, okay, cool. Like nobody really fucking with it, whatever. So and then fast forward in February, right before quarantine started. Well, no, time out. Fast forward in October again, I had a show at Berkeley College of Music, and I did it there. My last song, and it went up. People were rocking with it. I was like, cool.
Dude, that song has a ton of energy to it. Like you just like
Yeah,
it's a quick little moment. I think it was maybe like a 2-minute track or something like that, but it's
super short.
yeah, but it hits right away. I totally agree. And you were saying like you were bumping it in the car, like that beat. I was just like, oh yeah, like when I've listened to that song, I always bump it in the car. Like the very few times I've left my house, I've listened to it a couple of times.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, it bangs, right? And your flow is very reminiscent of like the modern sound that a lot of like artists are kind of going for today. So it certainly fits, but it's also still unique in its own way. So yeah, that song definitely is a banger for sure. So obviously, like that doesn't surprise me that when you ended with it, people got like turned up by it.
Yeah, people were lit, and they were like, "Oh, like this is hard. Did I ever drop that?" I was like, "Nah, not yet." But when I drop it, y'all better show love, though. Dropped it and like Halloween after my show. People were like, "Okay, cool." And then now we're in February, right? And then I'm on like Twitter, and then Nestle, like I see Nestle, I follow Nestle on Twitter, and he goes, "I'm doing a music review send your music in and like I'll judge it. So I'm like, I ain't doing nothing else. I'm in the crib. Like quarantine is just about to start. Like it didn't start yet, but people are like, oh, Corona. Like it was when the travel prices went down to like 40 a ticket to Miami. It was like there are those times where people were like, yo, I'm out. So I was in the crib and I was like, all right. So I send a song and then I'm in the chat and then it played in the chat and like I'm watching Nestle react and then like he's listening and then like people in the chat are like, what is this? This is weird. Like I don't know what this is. And like they're just saying, I don't know how I feel about this. Like it's playing. And then Nestle's like, nah, this is hard. Like I rock with this. Like, am I weird for liking this? And then like the whole mood started shifting. People were like, fire emojis, fire emojis, fire emojis. And I was just like, that's crazy. And I'm just watching people just in like the Twitch chat, like the Twitch live stream just go crazy. And they're like, yo, this is hard. This is hard. I was like, okay. And then people rocking with it. The song been out. Okay. And then I put it on my Instagram. Like I put his review on my Instagram. More people came towards it. I was like, okay. And then
Capitalize on this.
I got hit up by the Boston Hassle, and then they were like, about to write about it. And I was like, word, write about it. I would definitely appreciate it. I'm just trying to spread the music. Bro, it was kind of an accident, bro, because I've been had that song, bro. And it was just on SoundCloud, and I just didn't touch it. But then I put it on streaming, and then more people started like flocking towards it. And that kind of revitalized it.
Interesting, yeah, because that was one of my questions I had for you was like, you know, did you know like when you made it, like was this like this old like when you made it, like this is the song? Because I feel like some artists, and I've heard like other like big name artists, I can't think of like one off the top of my head at the moment, but I've definitely heard this sentiment before where they were like, you know, this is the song from my album that ended up being the big mainstream hit, and I thought it was going to be this other song. Like I had no idea it was going to be the song that actually was. Or on the flip side of that, they're like, when they make it, they're like, oh, I know that's magic, like right away. So it sounds like to me like you were a little bit surprised with the feedback. So tell me a little bit more about, because you said Leeds and then also Boston Hassle kind of, you know, have been either reposting it or they even wrote about it. So what does the overwhelming like positive reviews, like what does it kind of like what does it mean to you to kind of get this reception that you're getting from this track? Like how have you kind of dissected it in a way?
First, I'm appreciative because it's just like awesome when you release music. Like, bro, I I was doing like I was in some like music marketing webinars. I was in some music marketing webinars, and they said that 40,000 songs are uploaded to Spotify a day.
Wow.
And I was like, damn. So that means if people are bumping my song, I mean, I'm the one out of 40,000 that they decided to rock with. So I just want to say I'm appreciative of that. So the fact that people listen, that's super cool. And like with shout out Leeds, like shout out Boston Hassle, like there's a lot of like good music in the city. There's a lot of good music in the city, and like I see a lot of people getting love. I see a lot of people showing love. So I'm just like, but I see people who don't get love as well. So it was just like it was cool to get love. Like it was cool to be like noticed in the sense that like, oh, like we see you in the city and we see you like making some good music, because some people aren't that fortunate. So I'm just like, I just look at it as like one like step closer. Like I'm just trying to always just push the music as far as I can. Like I feel like I have a lot of things to say, and like I feel like Regular is a great song. Regular is a super great song. I love Regular. It's a fun song, but I definitely have like more to say than that. But it's just an opportunity when like even when like I'm just kind of just chilling, like I'm not like doing too much, that people can still just like still rock with it and like have a good time.
So expand on that a little bit for me, because I'm curious.
Yeah.
How what more do you think you have to say? Like what about like what more on a deeper level do you want people to know about you and your music when it's all said and done? Because like you said, I know Regular is definitely like just a hype. Like no, I shouldn't say that. It's not just a hype track, but like it's a song that has a specific setting. You would probably more or less just rock with it, and like you said, you bump it in the car when you're driving, or you know, with a bunch of friends working out. Exactly, that'd be a perfect place for it. But you know, it sounds to me like just in talking to you so far, you do have a lot more to say, and you do have a lot, you know, going on in that head of yours that you need to get out. So tell me a little bit more about like, you know, what more you want people to know about you when they think Mike Dubb? Like, what do you want people to kind of, when they would come to your music, what topics or what themes or what things about you do you want your listeners to know and understand?
Yeah, man. So I grew up on like Wayne. I grew up on like Drake. I grew up on like J. Cole, Tory Lanez. I consider myself like a student of like the game, like the modern game specifically. Like I really just been studying modern like rap trends, modern music trends, just like really just understand like the musical landscape I'm navigating. Um, and like I just like I have like 4 songs out right now on streaming, and like I like talk about like what's unrequited love. Like I talk about like I would definitely say that those like I have tracks that he like show more emotion. Like I'm very big on like a part of the reason I make music. I think the artists that resonate with us the most are the ones that are able to emote like clearly and strongly. And I feel like the best artists are able to like kind of, what's the word, like encapsulate their emotion, embody their emotion like in their songs. Like they're able to translate that emotion into a song, and like that song kind of like has like some of that emotion in it. So when you bump it and when you hear it, like you feel it, you feel me? Like, and it resonates with you. And I feel like a lot of like deep meaningful music, like not even like necessarily like super lyrical, like I don't mean like deep like that, because like I feel like you can be deep but not necessarily have to say like super complicated things that people have to unpack.
Absolutely.
But I just feel like music with like feeling and music with like raw emotion like isn't as commonplace, because music is so accessible, because like music is like people just make it for fun. Nothing wrong with that. People just like do it like just for like to have a good time. But like I feel like I'm like I know I'm one of those artists that just have like a lot more to say. And I know that what I like, I don't know what it's gonna take for people to have like all eyes on me. That's like the thing about music now. Like you never know like what's gonna be like. Regular is a song that I guess people would listen to me, and I'm like,
Right.
that's okay, and I appreciate that. But like it's usually a lot of people have that little song or that one song, and like you hear that one song and like the artist has nothing more to offer than that. But it's like I know I have more to offer than that. So it's like I'm just trying to work until it's my time. Until it's my time. Once it's my time, like I'm gonna show out.
Yeah. That's interesting. You bring that up because it's almost like you almost wish regular wasn't the one that made it out there, because you would have preferred a song that has, like you said, has a little bit more to say, or like emotes some kind of different emotion that is like really connected. I mean, of course, like, we connect to songs that hype us up and or like, that we can utilize at the gym or, in the car and things like that. But, you're right. Like the people that we really connect with on a deeper level, those are the artists that are the mainstays. Like, I mean, I look at my wall now. I mean, like Outkast, J. Cole, Big
Gambino.
Gambino, Big Crit, Tyler the Creator, Anderson Paak's on the other side, Amy Winehouse. Like these are all artists that had something like really strong to say about whatever the case, right? And
Mm-hmm.
they're relatable, and being relatable in music nowadays is, I think, so important, because that's how you not only gain followers, that's how you keep them, right? Like if they know that they can connect to Mike Dubb, they're going to keep coming back to you and hearing your music. And that's like super important for sure. I completely agree. And I love that that's like your perspective. Like, you want to be somebody that is more than just the hype guy. You don't want to be known as the dude. Oh, yeah, that's the guy that had that hype track regular. Like you don't want to just be that. You want to be more. And I think that's super important, and to strive for that 100%.
Yeah, man. Like in this day and age, music like because I feel like 20 years ago, and I'm 23, right? Like
Mhm.
20 years ago, I feel like when if you made music, like you were like it in some capacity. you were just like there was Tupac level, Biggie level, like Madonna, like they were just like if you made music, like you were just a different tier. And just like the introduction of the internet, it just makes it so like 40,000 songs are updated to Spotify
Yeah,
or upload a day, bro. So it's like there's so much music coming in, bro. There's so much music. So it's like you have to be able to stand out and you have to be able to have that real. And it's just like when something becomes so normalized, people undervalue it.
yeah.
And
Oh, absolutely. I agree with
when
that.
yeah, when they undervalue it, like it can kind of show. Like and like I don't know, like you ever see like a video, someone can make a video and like, you can just see like they didn't work so hard on it. Like you know, just like oh they threw it together. But like it's definitely like passable. Like you know what I mean? Like it maybe depends on like your eye and like your skill set and like I can rap, I can do regular and people love regular, bro. And I'm just like I made that in like a minute. And people are like, I love it. And I'm just like, that's awesome. And I'm like, I'm not like not appreciative. I never want to come off like, oh, like regular, like, nah, bro, it's not like that. It's just that like, I just know I have more to say, and like, there's so much emotion that I have, and there's just so much things I think about, and it's just that like, I want people to hear it because I know there's someone out there like me who hasn't heard like what I have to say because they're looking for someone to say it. They're looking for that like representative, right? That's someone that they identify with. And I just want to be like, there's like a lot of lost, emotional Black kids out there. I mean, my music's for everybody, but like as like a lost kid, as like a lost like emotional kid, as like a lost emotional. There were kids out there like they were like I can identify with like certain like tough stereotypes. I can identify with like just certain things. So I just want to be someone that like if they're looking for someone like me, they have them. Like you know what I mean? They get too attached to, so they feel like an anchor. Somebody
Yeah.
like anchor them here.
Oh, I totally hear you, man. I love that sentiment. I think it's super important to look at your music from that perspective. I think that's really great that you're really pushing, you know, towards that goal. I think that's awesome. Um, I wanted to also mention too. So you actually on one of the lives that we had recently, you've been hopping in on lives, sir, and getting your music out there. You're hustling, bro. I love it. You came in and you on ours actually a couple weeks ago. You previewed Excursion for us, which, bro, I love that song. So
Thank you, bro.
so I know you have that on the docket potentially. So what else can we expect from you going forward? Like what other types of songs or genre, like emotions or aesthetics in terms of like the sounds? What do you have in your wheelhouse that are that's kind of that you're ready to maybe put out in the next in the near future or you know maybe distant future? What are you working on at this point?
Man, first I got that excursion track for you, bro. I got you. I'm gonna drop that V soon. I think that's gonna come next. I got you. I got a track with my boy Sauce Kid Reese. He's out of LA. Shout out Sauce Kid. I got a track with him I've been holding on for like a grip. So I'm just gonna drop that. I got that excursion joint. I got that coming. I'll drop that too. I got a bunch of Lucy's because like I've been working on this project, bro, and like I just been like just I want to make sure like the landscape is correct before I just cause I can't just drop this project. No listens, bro. I'll be heartbroken. You know what I'm saying? I'm an artist. I'm super sensitive. So
Mhm.
I just want to drop this and make sure like I take the right steps to get it out there because I feel like I have like it's just like I have some music on there, bro. It's like you won't even like you hear regular and you hear the music like comes after that and you're just like what? You're like this is the same guy? Like
Yeah,
yeah.
no, I know it's totally different, right? Like I just like the one track Excursion that I've heard of your release stuff. I'm like, I remember you even reposted what we my reaction to it, but I was like, hell yes, Mikey, like let's go. Like this is this is my shit. This is the one release for me
I
personally.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So that's definitely more in my wheelhouse than regular. But no, it's awesome. So you're working on this project now. You know, what's the theme you're going for on the project? Is it just kind of is there something conceptual you're going for, or is there like a specific sound potentially?
The sound that's on the tape I would say it's my sound. Like I really want to show people what Mike Dubb sounds like because like I feel like I can make a lot of different sounds. Like I can make like hype sound, I can make like a melodic sound, like more emotional R&B, like stuff like that. Like I can go a lot of different places, but I want to have like a concrete body of work that's like when it comes down to it, when it's like said and done, like this is what my dub sounds like. And then you hear all these loosies and like you hear like I drop another song like regular esque like whatever after I drop my project and you're like, I like this guy. Let me go deep, like let me go dive deeper. And then you dive deeper and you find that project and you listen to it and you understand like who I am at that point in time. Like that's what I'm trying to create, like a little stamp that's like this is what my dub like. I kind of think of it as like a there's like a main universe, like there's like the main Mike Dubb universe, and that's like how like that's how Mike Dubb sounds, and like maybe regulars included in that, maybe it's not, maybe I have another song out my phone that's on there for sure, and like Spiral that's also on there, but like those are like even more melodic tracks where like I'm like and like on out my phone like I rap a little bit at the end, um, but like I just say that to say like a lot of more songs that focus on like how I feel, a lot of emotions, a lot of like my skill set too, because like I can rap, I can do some singing, I can do like a lot of different styles. So it's like taking each of those styles and then making them mine.
Yeah. Oh, it
Yeah.
makes perfect sense, man. So yeah, no, dude, I can't wait for Excursion and some of the Lucy's and then the project when you once you're finished, man. I'm excited to hear more from you. You're kind of
Thank you.
for me, man. You're leaving me certainly wanting more. With like you said, only have a handful of tracks out on streaming services, but what I have heard from you, I really enjoy. And you're right. You even on the 4 songs you have out, they are very different in their own right. So it's good that you're able to have that versatility and recognize that. I want to go back to something a little earlier we talked about, kind of pivoting
Sure.
from music a little bit. So what made you want to get into psychology, particularly when you went to school? So like what is it about the human mind, or like how we interact as people, or how we are as people? Like what about psychology for you interested you at the time, or interests you now? And really talk to me a little bit about uh really the process behind diving into something like that.
Yeah. So when I was younger, I've always like been on like my main like I guess goal or like how I want to live my life is like I want to live my life in a way that can benefit other people first and foremost. Like I think I've always thought like that. I've always been like, yo, like how can I help my friends, or like how can I help like people in my house? Like just like how can I help people like be better? So that manifested in a lot of ways. And one way I thought about it was, maybe I can become like a therapist. Maybe I can like help people through their problems and just like whatever issues like people are going through. Maybe I can like help them get through it. Because I think I'm a pretty level-headed guy. So I went into college. I decided that, bro, when I was like 12. When I was like 12, I was like, I think I'm gonna be a therapist. So I was like, from 12 to like 21, I held on to the idea. 12 to 20, I held on to the idea of being a therapist. So boom, I get in college. I'm like, okay, I'm a psych major because you have to be a psych major to do psychology. I think I've always understood people. I'm very like empathetic, and like I would go through situations when I was younger, and I'd be like the way I feel kind of sucks right now, and like how do I avoid feeling this way, right? And then I'd be like, I got my feelings hurt because I hate using this example because I feel like men always be like, this girl broke my heart when I was 12, so I'm gonna hold on to it for 10 years. But that's not what I'm saying. When I was like 10, like a girl would break my heart and I'd be like, oh, like why? Like this is hurt. Like why is my heart broken? And I'd be thinking about it and I'd be like, this hurts because I am attaching like a lot of meaning to this girl. And like I would just literally, bro, I would just literally just think about it. I was like, so if I don't get so attached to this girl, I won't like her as much and this won't hurt as much. Like that's how like I would think about stuff. And I'd be like, like I would really think about shit. So I was sorry for cursing. I would always think about things. I
You
would
can
always think about things. So I tried to bring that like that mindset into like they came to a point where I was doing like what's it called, like mock sessions, like with like for therapy. Like I would shadow like therapists and like I would just kind of see like how they're doing and like just take notes and like I'd be in like that setting and like I would implore like that logic, like
Mhm.
think logically, like you got to C because you went from A to B, like so don't go to B and you won't get to C and like but people don't think like that. Like not everyone thinks the same.
Right.
And like I guess I didn't think that like until like I was like in the therapist like session and like I would feel like there was a simple solution to the problem, but the person wasn't seeing it. And I'd be like, do I really have the patience to sit down with someone who I feel like has like an easy like the problem, like the solution to your problem is right in front of your face, and maybe you're too stubborn to realize. I don't think I can sit down and with someone consistently and just go through that, no matter how much you pay me. So
Well,
I was just
people
like,
aren't objective, bro. You know what I mean? Like with their own problems. You know what I mean? Like we're often a lot of us are. I feel like at some point in our lives we're victims of this. Like we give a lot of times we're willing to give great advice to people around us of what we're doing, but then if we were in that similar situation, we might not even handle it the way that we are telling other people to do it. Right? So it
exactly.
comes from like that's what I love about therapy, and for me personally. Um, so not to like completely cut you off. I
No,
apologize.
you're good. No, you're good.
I I'm someone that has been through therapy in the past in my life, just for dealing with like anxiety disorders and throughout my life and things like that. And one thing I've always loved and really valued about it is you're sitting in a room with somebody that is completely like non-objective to your life at all. Like there's no
Mm-hmm.
bias involved. Like they have no dog in the fight per se. Just their
Mm.
job is to listen to you spew for an hour, right? Or go through some problem. And I had like a lot of things, and I still do, but I'm still a work in progress, like all of us. But I think therapy is really important, and just in terms of for everybody, I think everybody should do it, even for a little bit. You know, if you're going through a rough
I
patch,
agree.
I think it's important because, and I think you're right. There's this negative stigma, I think, especially for men, right? There's this negative stigma, like we shove down those emotions, we don't show them, right? We just kind of block them out and move forward, right? We don't really work through them, but that's the problem. Like
Facts.
these problems always pop up again, no matter what, right?
No
Like
matter what.
you can push it down, push it down, push it down, but eventually it's going to come back up in some way. And it might not come up in the same way that it did in the beginning. You know what I mean? Like it might come out in a completely different way, and it could be even more detrimental to you. So that's why I think therapy is super important. Just from my perspective of it, I think everybody should, like I said, should do it at some point in their life. Why wouldn't you? Like I said, you get to just talk about yourself for an hour. I mean, we're all egotistical a little bit, and
Facts. Yeah.
people like you and me, we want to give back, but there's still everyone has some kind of ego. But yeah, so continue though, because I want to know. So you kind of go through all this process, you sit in on all these sessions, and you're sitting here yourself. It sounds to me almost like you want to pivot a little bit from this. Am I hearing you correctly? Like you might not even want to kind of go into the therapy route at all at this point. Is that or is that too bold of a statement to say?
Realistically, I couldn't give someone that much attention in order to help them through their issues. One and two, like I that's draining for me, like, considering what I have going on in my own life. Like, you know what I mean? Just like realistically speaking, just as a person, like a lot of people go through their own things. And like I just understood that like I don't have the emotional energy to give someone else right now. So I was just kind of like, this isn't me. This isn't something I should do because I don't think I'd be effective this way. If that
Gotcha.
makes sense.
No, it does. So do you have a plan on how do you want to utilize it, or how you want to stick with something in psychology? Is there still something you want to accomplish with it? Or is it kind of just something that's in your back pocket that you might use it at some point?
To be honest, like it's something that's in my back pocket right now. Like I feel like I use psychology every day, like in my music, because I feel like in marketing you need to understand psychology, and just like in just understanding people, reaching out, like forming like effective ads.
Mhm.
You need to understand psychology. So I'm definitely using it like in that aspect. But I'm really like full in on the music right now. Like I'm really full force into that. So
That's awesome. Mike, you've been amazing, dude. Like, thank you so much for doing this. Like, this has been, I love just like a lot of the knowledge that you've dropped here today, and just your perspective, I think is really amazing to me. I do have one more question for you, and
Yeah.
I like to ask this for everybody that comes on the show. Uh, it's called, I call it your dream song scenario. Okay. So,
Okay.
I'll structure it for you. So you get to make a song with anybody in the world, and any artist, we'll call it even dead or alive, right? They don't even have to be alive. And you get,
Ooh.
so you get, it's your song, you get two guest verses, you get somebody to do a hook, and you also get a producer. So
Ooh.
I'm putting you on the spot, so take all the time you need. Who is going on that song, on the Mike Dubb Dream Scenario song?
Done. Pierre Bourne is producing it. That's number one. I gotta get Pierre Bourne to produce it.
Okay.
Yo, Pierre, you wanna come out here? That'd be crazy. Pierre Bourne. I get Lil Wayne
Nice.
on a verse. Lil Wayne on a verse. I would get Tory Lanez on the hook.
Nice.
Pierre Bourne, Tory Wayne. Well, you said two guest verses and a hook.
You got one more guess.
Damn, who? Oh, Childish Gambino.
Nice. Wow. That'd be, dude, that would be
Sure.
an interesting pairing, right? Because I think you and Wayne and Tory Lanez would work, but I'd be interested to see how Gambino would be in on that track. Like, how would he fit in? That would be
That's my idol, bro.
yeah.
Gambino is my idol, bro. I love Gambino. He taught me so much, bro. It's crazy.
Oh man, he is like one of the most influential people in this. I mean, he for me, like, it's coming from somebody that has their hand in a bunch of different things. Like, for me personally, like, I teach, I have my own podcast that I run clearly, and then I coach basketball as well on the side. Like, I have my own training session that I do,
Nice.
training business that I do, with small group and individual training. And then obviously I coach during the basketball season as well for the high school that I teach at. But so I see, like, Gambino is very similar. Like, he's like, yo, I can make music. I can, write TV shows. I can, be a comedian. Like, I can be an actor. He really, like, tries to plan into, like, all his different talents, and also, like, what is he's passionate about. So I'm same with you, man. Like, I look up to him big time. He's somebody that, like, I really see, and he's a positive role model. I mean, is there anything, like, have you ever heard anything bad about Childish Gambino ever? Like, anything at all? Like, he doesn't have a parking ticket on his record. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Yeah. He's a talented man, yo. He's so talented. It's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. So, all right. So Mike Dubb featuring Tory Lanez, Lil Wayne, and Childish Gambino, produced by Pierre Bourne. I think that would be hell of a track, man. That would be, hopefully that maybe someday that'll come to fruition. When
One day. One day.
we will keep our fingers crossed, sir. So,
Sure.
Mike, thank you so much, guys. Please make sure you
Thank you.
Oh, of course, bro. Make sure you follow this man on Instagram at Young Mike Dubb. We will link that in the description for sure.
Yes, sir.
We'll link regular in the description as well. So make sure you go run up those streams on that track. That
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Of course, and that is on our playlist, our Night School Edition playlist that we update weekly. So you can even find it there. Make sure you tune in, and obviously, keep up on our page and Mike's page, because we will definitely be promoting Excursion when it comes out, and anything that Mike releases from here on out. So this is not the last you'll be seeing of Mike, for sure, with us. And we'll get you in studio, when quarantine's all over, and we'll collaborate again, bro. And
For sure.
yeah, I look forward to working with you again, and meeting you in person, man. And again, I just want to say real quick, thank you so much for your transparency and your wise words. I think you're very mature beyond your years, and I think you have your vision in the right direction, and I think that's only going to bode well for you going forward. And I think anybody that just listened to this episode of our show is going to recognize that, and definitely learned something today. I think all of our guest speakers have been phenomenal in that sense of coming on and shedding light on some, and being very different in that sense. And you definitely shed a different light and perspective that we haven't had on the show yet. So I just want to thank you so much for that.
Thank you, man. I appreciate your time. Thank you for having me.
Oh, of course. So Mike, that's Mike. I am the Turntable
Hey, Mike Squared.
Mike Squared. Here we are. And we're here again for another amazing guest speaker episode. Make sure if you are a fan of Mike and you're not a fan of us, definitely give us a follow on Instagram. Check out all the great guest speaker episodes that we already have on our show. They're available to stream on any podcast platform that you use, and they're all on, and then the videos are all on YouTube. So make sure you go stream those and support all of our amazing Massachusetts and Boston artists that are in our circle, and just continue to promote artists during this time. It's so important. And so follow us at Turntable Teachers on Instagram. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. I'm Mike with the Turntable Teachers, and class is dismissed.
Turntable.